Hello and welcome to PMQs with Graham Hughes. The speaker is about to announce the beginning of PMQs, but at the moment we're doing questions about Northern Ireland, I think. It is Wednesday, the 26th of January, 2022. It's lots of twos. So we've got the Northern Ireland Minister here, Conor Burns, talking crap. And that's not to be unexpected with these gang of miscreants, to put it mildly. The Sue Gray report hasn't been released, so Keir Starmer can't ask questions about it, really, because fucking Blabber Johnson, you know, the human bag of custard, Tubby Custard. He's a bag of custard and sexually transmitted diseases. That is Boris Johnson, topped by a thatched roof that was damaged in Storm Arwen. He's just got to stand there and he's got to go, oh, we've got to wait for the report. But I think he's got the report. I'm not quite sure on this at the moment. Maybe you can enlighten me in the comments as to whether the report has actually been delivered yet. Because I don't know if it has. So I'm just pulling up your comments here because we seem to be running a bit late with Prime Minister's questions, which is weird because I was on time today. Usually I'm trying to, put out fires with this one. But if I just do a little pop out cheddar. This is the final question before PMQs. I can just hear it in my ear here. It's not a great feed, this, is it? It's kind of a bit clunky. Can you see that the feed is kind of, my computer can't handle it. I need a better computer. But you've got to choose. You got to make your choices, don't you? You got to choose whether you pay for heating to keep yourself warm in the winter, or you get a computer. Charlotte says hello all. Hello, Charlotte. We've got Ford Oak there saying, time for some fucking cunting swearies. Yes, you're right, Ford Oak. We've got Mark Wharton saying, have we waited long enough for Sue Gray? No, like Goddo, I don't think she's ever going to come. With Alex Green there, we've got a yay. Hello, Alex. We've got Pineapple Boy, Crime Minister's questions and evasions, indeed. Right, I think, my friends, it is time to ramp up the sound. They're just talking about the British Sign Language. Okay,
with
right.
Prime Minister's questions, Petos.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, as my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, remarked to the House earlier this morning, this Sunday marks a tragic day in our history. This was one of the darkest days of the Troubles, and that's the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. And I echo his call to learn from the past, to reconcile and build a shared, peaceful and prosperous future. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Rat bag. Fucking resign.
I associate my remarks with the Prime Minister on Bloody Sunday. Did the Prime Minister agree to the Chancellor of the Exchequer writing off £4.3 billion of fraud? That's £154 of every household in the country. That went directly into the pockets of fraudsters.
Yeah.
No, of course not, Mr. Speaker. But what I can tell him, we do not support fraudsters or those who steal from the public purse, Mr. Speaker. But what I can tell
You're totally supporting fraudsters.
is that everybody
you
in this
fraud
country
yourself.
should be very proud of the huge effort that was made by Lord Agnew and others to secure ventilators and to secure PPE.
What?
And at the time,
is he talking about
and others
vaccination again?
We're calling for us to go faster, Mr. Speaker.
Let me know if I need to turn my sound up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My local hospital, the George Eliot, has recently issued all of its staff, helpers and volunteers with a medal in recognition of the work that they've done and continue to do through the COVID pandemic.
Those Union Jack
Will the Prime Minister join me in thanking them all for the incredible work they've done, including the specialist teams such as palliative care, who've had to act as surrogate families for patients whose relatives who've been able to attend because of restrictions.
Quick, run,
will he consider following their lead in issuing a National Service Medal for all of our key
off!
workers
Oh,
who've done
fuck
such
off
an
with your
outstanding
medals!
job
Give them a
in keeping our
fucking
country
pay rise,
going
you
through the
cunt!
pandemic.
Fucking medals? What is this, a
of course,
fucking
Mr. Speaker.
Boy
Thank
Scout?
you,
Oh, you're going to get a little badge to
I'm
sew onto
pleased
your
that so
uniform.
many of the
Oh,
volunteers
that's
at
going to be
the
really
staff
exciting for you,
at
isn't
Georgia
it? Shame you can't
Hospital
pay your
have
fucking
been,
gas bill.
recognised in the
Gobshites!
New Year's honours. I've seen the medal that they are proposing, and I think it's lovely.
Go
Mr.
fuck
Speaker,
yourself,
and as I've told the House
fucking
before,
canker.
we're establishing a UK Commission on COVID commemoration
Plod of
to
wayward
consider how we
marl.
can commemorate everything that we've all been
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
and
exactly,
which
Mark.
will also
Medals, how
consider
about
we
decent
can
pay?
recognise the courage of frontline
Ah,
workers.
fuck off.
Welcome to the
Fuck,
Leader of the
fuck,
Opposition,
fuck,
Keir
fuck off,
Starmer.
Boris Johnson. Right, Keir Starmer, if you can't hear me, let me know.
Speaker, and can I join with the Prime
I'm not going
Minister
to be able
in
to
his
fiddle
comments
with
in
the
relation to Bloody
sound
Sunday?
so much. From
The
here on in.
Ministerial Code says that ministers who knowingly mislead Parliament will be expected to offer their resignation.
Yeah.
Does the Prime Minister believe that applies to him?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, of course, but let me tell
Of
the
course.
House that I
okay.
think he's inviting a question about an investigation which, as you know, Mr. Speaker, I can't comment.
Yes, you can. Yes,
which
you
is,
fucking
as
can.
a lawyer,
What the
Mr.
fuck?
Speaker will know that I can't.
Why can't you comment? Why not?
And what I
Why
am
not?
focused on is delivering the fastest recovery.
Actually, he's not
of
asking
any
you to talk
American,
about Sue Gray's inquiry. He's just saying, as a matter of principle, should you fucking resign if you've broken the fucking rules? And the answer's yes.
More people on the
Oh God, here we go. New hospitals, vaccinations, vacillations.
Tomorrow, Mr. Speaker.
Fucking Boris Johnson bingo. Boris bingo.
Being out of work. In my case, that's what. I understand why he wants it. We're launching a plan tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, to get 500,000 people off welfare into work. It's a fantastic idea. I hope he supports it.
Keir Starmer.
I think the Prime Minister said yes, he agrees the code does apply to him. And therefore, if he misled Parliament, he must resign.
Here.
On the 1st of December, the Prime Minister told this House, in relation to parties during lockdown, all guidance was followed completely in number 10 from that dispatch box.
Yeah.
On the 8th of December, looks quizzical, he said it. On the 8th of December, the Prime Minister told this House, I have been repeatedly assured since these allegations emerged there was no party. So since he acknowledges the Ministerial Code applies to him, will he now resign?
No, Mr. Speaker.
What?
But,
Why not? You fucking lied! You lied, you mendacious cunt! You fucking lied!
Restrictions. Let me just
Fucking
remind
resign.
the House and indeed remind the country that he
Resign.
has been relentlessly
Resign,
opportunistic.
disgusting, gelatinous blob of a man!
He has flip-flopped from one side to the other. He would have kept us.
Flip-flop
He
what?
would have kept us in lockdown in the summer, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, shut up, you poisonous bunchback toad! Fucking hell, this man is an absolute cancer on the nation. He is a puss-filled bubo of a fucking man. You rat bag, you shitbox, you fucktard. Fuck off.
The guy that said in hindsight he now appreciates it was a party.
Yeah?
We've discovered the real Captain Hindsight, haven't we, Mr. Speaker?
Oh, I didn't know it was a party.
Let me
Yeah?
spell out.
Dickhead.
Let me spell out. They shout now. They're going to have to go out and defend some of this nonsense.
Yeah. And they will.
Let me
They
spell
fucking
out
will,
the
because their jobs
significance of
depend on
yesterday's
Johnson staying in office.
Sue Gray matter to the police, having found evidence
that.
of
Was it
behaviour
someone
that's potentially a criminal offence. Prime Minister, if you do not understand the significance of what happened yesterday, then I really do despair. Because the police, Prime Minister, the police having got that material from Sue Gray, subject it to a test to decide whether to investigate. And that test was whether it was the most serious and flagrant type of breach in the rules. The police spelt out that what they meant by that those involved knew or ought to have known what they were doing was an offence, and that there was little ambiguity about the absence of any reasonable threat. Does the Prime Minister...
Speaker, do your
does
job.
the Prime
Speaker,
Minister-
do your job.
This question will continue, and I will hear hear the question. Unfortunately, you might not believe this, but our constituents are very interested in both the questions and the answers. If some members do not wish to hear it, please leave quietly. Keir Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, having got the material from Sue Gray, the police had to take a decision as to whether what they had before them was the most serious and flagrant types of breach of the rules. If members want to laugh at that, laugh. The police spelt out what they meant. They decided on the material they've already got that those involved knew or ought to have known what they were doing was an offence.
Yep.
And that there was little ambiguity around the absence of any reasonable defence. Does the Prime Minister really not understand the damage his behaviour is doing to our country?
Mr. Speaker, I hope that the right honourable gentleman understands that although the issue that he raises is important, there is simply no way, as he knows, as a lawyer, that I can comment on the investigation that he is currently...
What? Oh, great. My fucking feed has stopped. Oh, what a fucking bag of cocks. Oh, come on. Oh, my God. This isn't good. I've not had a technological breakdown like this for months now. Well, I suppose I had a few when I was on the island, but that was excusable. I'm out.
But what he also knows, he talks about the most serious issue.
Blah, 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 blah. So don't answer the question.
The world today. It's almost as though he was in ignorance of the fact,
so the quality
Mr. Speaker, that we have a crisis on the borders of Ukraine.
Oh, yes. Right, okay, so we're going to talk about Ukraine. This is the fat fuck who didn't give a shit about over 100,000 people dying. He said, and these were his words, let the bodies pile high. And suddenly he's all concerned about the men and women and children of Ukraine. Oh, really, are you? Do you really give a shit, Prime Minister? No, you fucking don't, you gobshite.
Package of sanctions to deter President Putin from what I think would be a reckless and a catastrophic invasion. That is what
fucking you'd love that invasion, mate. You would love it. Anything that could save your sorry fucking arse now. You lump of foul deformity. Streamer's better when Boris was not talking.
Can I just say honestly, just sit. Can I just say to both sides, our constituent watching it, tensions are running high, and what we need to be able to do is allow the people out there who are bothered about their futures to hear what is said on both sides. So please, let's give the respect our constituents deserve. Keir Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, this was the Prime Minister who went into hiding for 5 days because of these allegations. Talk to me about being around for the allegations. Mr. Speaker.
Can I just say, I don't want to do this, but I am determined to make sure our constituents can hear. The next person that stops me hearing will not be continuing in this debate.
Yes.
Questions?
Fucking throw the cunts
Prime
out.
Minister's continual defences wait for the Sue Gray report. On the 8th of December, he told this House, I will place a copy of the report in the library of the House of Commons. His spokesperson has repeatedly stated that means the full report, not parts of the report, not a summary of the report, not an edited copy.
Shaking his head.
So can the Prime Minister confirm that he will publish the full Sue Gray report as he receives it?
Minister.
No, but national
what
security.
I can tell him is that we've got to leave the report to the independent investigator, as he knows.
Gabble, gabble, barf, barf. Yeah, Jacob.
When I receive it, of course I will do exactly what I said, but I can tell him that in the meantime, I think what the people of this country want to hear is what we're doing.
Don't tell me what I want to hear, you cunt! Fuck you! Fuck you! And fuck you again! Only 1 in 4 people in this country want you to keep your job. You're so concerned about the will of the cunting people, and then suddenly, once the will of the people turns against you, you're like, no, I'm staying in office till the day I die. Fuck off, and then keep fucking off forever, you cunts.
That party opposite are committed to abolishing universal credit.
What the fuck are you on about, you mad twat?
Cutting the tax. The police say the evidence meets the test. Frankly, the public have made up their minds.
Yep.
They know he's not fit for the job. And that's what
Will
really
of the
matters
people.
here.
Say the will of the
Throughout
people.
this scandal, the Tories have done immense damage
Use
to
his own
public
fucking
trust.
lines against
When the
them.
leader of the Scottish Conservatives said the Prime Minister should resign, the leader of the House called him a lightweight. English Conservatives publicly undermining the Union by treating Scotland with utter disdain. How much damage are the Prime Minister and his cabinet prepared to do to save his skin?
Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think that he was offering a yet more general criticism of what's been going on in Downing Street. Let me just remind the House of what's been going on in Downing Street. We've been prioritising.
You've been partying. You've been having parties on the eve of the funeral of the husband of the Queen. That's what this cunt's been doing. That's what he's been doing, partying with his mates, with a suitcase full of booze, with a special fridge he bought for his fucking boozy fucking knees-up parties, with his fucking birthday cake, his cunt wife, and his cunt fucking interior decorator who was in his house and came to the fucking party.
And we're fixing social care.
Oh, you fucking ratbag. Look at him nodding away. The only reason why the front bench is shoring him up is because they know that all of those cunts are so fucking useless. Not only will they lose their jobs as ministers if he walks, they will also never be able to be employed anywhere ever again because they are thick as big shit and all tarred at the same brush as Boris Cunting Johnson.
Of a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom being subject to a police investigation. Unable to lead the country, incapable of doing the right thing, and every day his cabinet failed to speak out, they become more and more complicit.
Yes.
And what's utterly damning, despite the huff and puff, is that this is all happening when petrol prices, the weekly shop and energy bills are going through the roof. 3 months ago, Labour suggested cutting VAT from energy bills. Still, the government has failed to act. Instead of getting on with their jobs, they're wheeled out to save his. Whatever he says in his statement later today or tomorrow won't change the facts. Isn't this a Prime Minister and a government that have shown nothing but contempt for the decency, honesty and respect that define this country?
Mr. Speaker, we love this country and we're doing everything in our power to help this country.
No respect.
And of course,
just an
he
Etonian
wants me out of the way, Mr. Speaker. Of course he wants me out of the way.
I'd like you out the way, mate, permanently. If you know what I mean, everyone watching, wink, wink. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Wink, wink. Take him to the fucking tower. Take that cunt to the fucking tower. And all of his front bench. And actually all the fucking Tory MPs. Jesus Christ. What a bag of shite. What a shower of fucking arseholes.
He voted 48 times to take this country back into the European Union.
It's still talking about Brexit. Oh my God, I thought you got that done, you mad twat.
In Europe, Mr. Speaker.
All right, this is all he's got. Attack lines, attack lines. No sense of proportion, this man. He doesn't understand how he has infected the body politic. Virus Johnson infected the body politics of this country with his fucking lies, with his duplicity, with his absolute fucking cast iron gaslighting like a fucking pro. Oh, you're only concerned about cake, are you? That's like having an argument with your wife about cake, beating the shit out of her, and then when the fucking police turn up to arrest you, go, well, I don't know why you're so concerned about cake. No, it's not about the cake, you twat. It's about the fact that you committed a fucking heinous crime. You lied to Parliament, you shitebag. You sent your little poison pencil, your haunted pencil, to go and lie to the cunting Queen.
I would have thought he's the Prime Minister of this side of the House. I'm surprised that this side of the House doesn't want to listen to it, because I do. Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I only wanted to add the point that we've taken the tough decisions.
No, you haven't. You didn't even take a decision. You fucking vacillated. You didn't decide what to do till the last fucking minute when it was too late and cost the lives of tens of thousands of British people.
South, the Welsh Government has been dragging its feet on urgent repairs to the Newbridge Road.
Oh, for
While
fuck's
in
sake, he's asking
contrast,
about
the
the
Prime Minister and his government have delivered record Levelling Up Fund investment of
to their mates,
13.3 million along the
to their mates for fucking levelling up their driveways.
And on to Corwin. Will the Prime Minister comment on how the next phase of the Levelling Up Fund will bring hope and prosperity to other communities right across
these softball questions? I've just cut the sound to this because I feel like you shouldn't have to listen to Boris Johnson's voice any more than absolutely necessary, because this man is the world's biggest cunt right now. I mean, Trump was, but he's not in office anymore. This man is representing us around the world, and he's a fucking joke. It's fucking embarrassing. It's pathetic. Worse than pathetic. Here's Ian Blackford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I associate myself with the remarks of the Prime Minister on Bloody Sunday? And I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, you and the entire House will want to commemorate tomorrow the Holocaust Memorial Day, when 6 million Jews lost their lives at the hands of the regime of Hitler. And of course we remember other genocides, not least more recently in Bosnia, and we all pray for continued peace in that country. Mr. Speaker, at the heart of this matter we have a Prime Minister who is being investigated by the police for breaking his own laws. Absolutely unprecedented. A man who demeans the office of Prime Minister. This is the latest in a rap sheet that is already a mile long. Illegally proroguing Parliament, misleading the House, decorating with dodgy cash, partying while the public suffered. Every moment he stays, he's dragging out the agony for families who are reminded of the sacrifices they made, and dragging his party further through the dirt. The public knows it, the House knows it, even his own MPs know it. When will the Prime Minister cop on and go?
Mr. Speaker, I want to join the right honourable gentleman and echo his sentiments about Holocaust Memorial Day, where I think he is completely right. But I must say that he made the same point last week. He's wrong then, he's wrong now.
Why is he wrong?
And much as I enjoy...
No, he didn't make the same point last week because you weren't being investigated by the cunting police last week, dickhead. You are now. You're being investigated by the fucking police. This is our Prime Minister being investigated for breaking laws that cunt made.
Every moment that the Prime Minister lingers, every nick in this death by a
like
thousand
a bad
cuts
fucking smell.
is sucking attention from the real issues facing the public. Tory cuts, Brexit and the soaring cost of living have pushed millions of families into poverty. The impending national insurance tax hike hangs like a guillotine while they eat cake.
Yes.
This is nothing short of a crisis.
At least Marie Antoinette wants to give it to other people.
The only route to restore public trust is for the Prime Minister to go. How much longer will Tory MPs let this go on for? How much more damage are they willing to do? It is time to get this over with. Show the Prime Minister the door. Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I don't know where he's been eating more cake. What I would say to the right honourable gentleman, for whom actually, Mr. Speaker, I have a behind the scenes. People don't get this, but actually we cooperate well, and I want to continue to do so.
Jesse Norman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the Prime Minister will know from personal experience, the River Wye is one of the most beautiful rivers in Europe. Yet
no, it's not. It's full of shit, mate, because your cunting party pumped it full of raw sewage.
Phosphate and other pollution. The river crosses the border between England and Wales, but so far it has proven impossible to get the Environment Agency, Natural England and Natural Resources Wales even to begin planning a single integrated long-term strategy to clean up the river.
The clean up the river that you pump shit in. Hey, dickhead Jesse, here's a fucking plan. Why don't you cunts stop telling your privatised fucking water companies that it's okay to pump more fucking effluent into every single one of our water courses? Hey, how about that, eh? Cunt.
Once and for all.
Fuck you.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I had a memorable swim in the Wye myself. I think at about 5 o'clock in the morning once, and it tasted as like nectar.
What?
But
with all the sewage floating in it. You haven't
raises.
swam in it lately, have you, you cunt? Pulled out the EU so we don't have to abide by EU regulations on the safe amount of effluent to put in a river, i.e. it should be fucking none!
I know that we're urging the Welsh Government to take this matter as seriously
as
this
the Welsh
government
Government. It's because the Welsh Government are doing things.
Sir Geoffrey Donalds.
Jesus
Mr.
Christ.
Speaker, the Prime Minister will know that many families across the United Kingdom are struggling with the increased cost of living and rising energy costs. But in Northern Ireland, that is compounded by the protocol. 27% is the increase in the cost of bringing goods from Great Britain to Northern Ireland when we can get access to those goods. It is costing business.
This little whiny Sir Geoffrey Cuntinson, right? He's whining about the Brexit that his fucking party fucking voted for.
This nation and levelling up. He could do that
fuck you,
by removing
you
the Irish Sea border and restoring
fuck
Northern Ireland's
fuck
place
off,
fully
and
within
fuck off.
the UK
You voted for this.
internal market.
You won. Get over it, cunt.
Speaker, I must say that I support passionately the
yes,
indignation
I
of,
support this,
right
but I can't be asked doing anything about it.
And yes, yes, Mr. Speaker,
because the EU has me over a barrel.
When we negotiated that this would be
negotiated.
200 businesses.
You negotiated it, you twat! You signed off on it! You told everyone it was your oven-ready Brexit deal!
And frankly,
fuck
Mr.
you.
Speaker, the EU is implementing this in
Fuck
an insane,
you.
pettifogging way. And we need to sort it out, and I completely support what he's saying.
Yeah, what is that? What's your fucking plan, you mountain of mad flesh?
Seen the report published earlier this month by the EAC, making recommendations about what else should be done in addition to the welcome measures in the Environment Act to clean up our rivers, including the River Wye, but all our rivers. One of the recommendations was that DEFRA should give guidance to Ofwat to require water companies to invest much more in water treatment
Maybe not put
in the next
shit
round
in our
of capital
rivers.
spending approval. Will he encourage his Secretary of State to give this
stop
guidance
putting shit in the
the
rivers?
strategic
Oh no,
policy
these
statement
cunts voted to put
Ofwat
shit in the fucking
expected
rivers,
shortly?
didn't they?
Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Well, we may have voted to put shit in the rivers, but now we're going to vote to get the shit out of the rivers.
Is going further and faster than any other government hitherto to protect and improve the health of our rivers and seas.
Lord Russell Moyle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy unbirthday to him. Happy unbirthday to him. Because just like the Mad Hatter, he didn't need the excuse of a birthday to have a party, but it did help, didn't it? So when he had groups of people singing to him when illegal gatherings indoor were illegal and communal singing was banned, my constituents think that he has lied. My constituents think that he lied to this House, and my constituents think he lied to them when he was partying and telling them all...
Order. In passing what your constituents say, but you can't continue to labour that one point.
He's a liar. It's the way that you call someone a liar in British Parliament.
I would
you can't call him a liar
to be led
directly.
by a lawyer than a liar. Will he now resign?
Oh, he's just called him a liar. Good on you, mate. Yeah, fucking fuck. Yeah.
The honourable member will be withdrawing that last comment.
I withdraw it. That's what my constituents think, not mine.
That's what my constituents think. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking liar. I can fucking say it. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking blob on the horizon.
But what I can tell him, and what I can tell his constituents, is that irrespective of what they want to focus on, and I understand why they do, Mr. Speaker, this government is going to get on with the job and deliver for the people of this country.
Just get on with the job. It's like a little wind-up fucking toy from the 80s, isn't he? That only says 5 different things.
Our Prime Minister on a promise to get Brexit done.
Yeah.
He was successful. Faced with the
shut up, you bolting hunch of
our Prime
beastliness.
Minister set out to build a world-beating vaccination programme to save lives. Mr. Speaker, he was successful.
Fucking
He's
hell.
now lifted COVID restrictions.
It'd be hard to get around when you're
against
so far with
huge
Boris Johnson's
pressure
arse, you're
not to
wearing
do
his
so.
fucking
And
body
he's
as a
got the
balaclava.
economy back on track. Can I ask my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister,
Can I get
will
down
he
on him?
continue
Can I?
to deliver
Can I?
and on the priorities
He kisses
of my
Boris.
constituents
He kisses Boris.
and the millions lives across this
Fuck
country
you, you cantankerous old hag.
for him in
Fucking plague sore. Fuck off, you Hamilton.
Mr. Speaker, I really can't improve on the brilliant question. The people of South East.
It was really funny when you were at that party on the eve of the fucking Prince Philip's funeral.
Tomorrow is the second anniversary since my constituent Michael Leary was murdered and his body desecrated in an attempt to cover up the crime. Will he meet with campaigners and myself to discuss the need for a new offence or amended sentencing guidelines to reflect the extra suffering faced by the families of murdered victims whose bodies were concealed or desecrated?
Prime Minister.
Well, I thank him very much for drawing this appalling case to the attention of the House, and I can certainly assure him that he will be getting the meeting he needs at the earliest opportunity.
Sir Mike Penning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On the 24th of November, Mr. Speaker, I asked the Prime Minister if he would meet with me and my constituents about the future or lack of future of a new hospital in Hemel Hempstead. I thought when I put in the question today that I would have to ask the same question, but last night I was offered the meeting.
I think it's at least 175,000.
So on another note, Prime Minister...
That's within 28 days, isn't it?
Many children in this country are suffering from a special form of seizure, which medical cannabis prescribed by a consultant actually helps them live. Only 2 children in this country get that free on the NHS. The rest of those children have to beg, borrow and scrape with their families to try and get that prescription issued by a consultant paid for. Can the Prime Minister please use the political will? I know the Secretary of State has the political will, but please push this forward so these children live.
Prime Minister.
I thank my honourable friend. I'm delighted he has the meeting that he wanted. We've already changed the law to allow doctors to prescribe cannabis products where clinically appropriate. But, Mr. Speaker, we're very keen to support it, provided the MHRA is happy as well.
Richard Norrally.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Threats and intimidation, bribery and blackmail, racism and Islamophobia. That's the character of his government. Every day, the Prime Minister lurches from scandal to scandal, and meanwhile, his government has written off £4.3 billion to fraudsters. Instead of writing off loans to fraudsters, why won't the Prime Minister write his resignation to the Queen?
Yes!
Mr. Speaker,
Islamophobia,
because
bullying,
she talks about
criminal
bullying
bullying,
and Islamophobia. You look at this government, Mr. Speaker. Look at the modern Conservative Party.
Yeah, and vomit in your mouth because it's so fucking rank. Your party stinks worse than a 14-week-old fucking carcass of a hippo, you creep, you fat blobbering buffoon. Fucking plague sore.
The recruitment of 20,000 police officers is a fantastic commitment to law and order by this government. Bedfordshire, in common with many other police forces, has lost out on about 95 officers as a result of the imposition of damping in 2004. So we don't have to rely on one-off special grants to stay solvent. Will the Prime Minister recommit to the reformation of the police funding formula in this Parliament?
Prime Minister.
My right honourable friend, the Policing Minister, has assured me we're going to be introducing a new funding formula before the end of the Parliament. But I'm pleased that Bedfordshire Police have already recruited 100 additional officers as part of our uplift programme. That's part of the 11,000 more that this government has put on the streets.
Hope they send you off to the tower.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lied to the Queen, lied to Parliament, lied to his wives, lied to his children, lied on television, lied on the radio, lied every fucking word. I bet you even lied to the fucking fridge he hid in.
I did not receive a clear answer. Worrying reports in the media of Treasury cuts to bus buying plans highlight a conflict between the PM and his Chancellor. Prime Minister, is the current Chancellor denying you, the current Prime Minister, the right to fulfil your pledge to buy 4,000 zero-emission buses?
Prime Minister.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, there's never in the history of this country been such a bonanza for buses. I am personally a bus fanatic. We're putting £5 billion into buses and cycling during this Parliament, and £355 million into new funding for zero-emission buses. And yes, of course, we want to see the benefits of that funding spread right across the
can I do? I'm only that cunting Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, securing extra health services at Queen Mary's Hospital Sidcup is a key priority for local residents, as it is for me as the first homegrown MP for Old Bexley and Sidcup.
Young Conservative.
Will the Prime Minister support me in delivering this extra investment for our local hospital and join me in thanking all of the staff at Queen Mary's for their incredible efforts? Thank you.
Prime Minister.
Yes, and I can't say what a joy it is to welcome my honourable friend to his place. Joy seems a bit confined on the benches opposite, Mr. Speaker. I thank him for his work and support for everybody at Queen Mary's Hospital, which he and I have campaigned for many years. Last year, Queen Mary's received £800,000 of funding, and I hope that it will benefit further from the £1 million funding awarded to the Oxley's NHS Foundation Trust to improve technology services across its estates.
Richard Bergen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A nurse who organised a small socially distanced demonstration against this government's pay cuts was fined £10,000. People out there are sick to the back teeth of it being one rule for the Tories and another for everyone else. The Prime Minister, for once, needs to do a decent thing. For God's sake, resign.
Listen, my best friends in my life.
There was an invitation for me to do what, of course, the Labour Party
invitations to what the fuck you like, you gobshite.
We are going to carry on with our agenda
of having fucking parties while everyone else is suffering. That's his agenda. Lining his pockets with the nation's cash, flashing it out to all his mates. Dodgy PPE contracts, 4.3 billion given to fraudsters. All the Islamophobia, all the bullying, all the fucking blackmail. Oh my God, where does the list end?
Real fears of China invading Taiwan. On Sunday, Beijing staged the largest incursion into Taiwan's airspace since October. Does my right honourable friend agree with me that military aggression and threat of occupation are never acceptable anywhere in the world? And will he confirm that under this Conservative government, the UK will always be at the forefront of standing up forcefully for freedom and democracy, security and stability?
This cunt right here.
I thank my honourable friend. I want to tell him that the Chinese military flights that have taken place near Taiwan in recent days and months are not conducive to peace and stability in the region. And what we need is a peaceful and constructive dialogue by people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait.
There's an easy way of stopping Putin.
My right honourable friend, the Foreign Secretary, and all colleagues are working for.
That ends Prime Minister's questions. For those who are not staying for the UQ, please leave quietly.
Right, that's it. Go on, off you fuck. You horrible bunch of twats. Well, the ones on the left. Okay, so there we have it. I'm going to just disappear off your screens for a moment, but don't worry, I will be back presently. You should still be able to hear me, which is nice. Always good to be able to hear what's going on in the background. So that was Prime Minister's questions. A lot less explosive than we were hoping it was going to be because of the fact that Mr. Gobshite McGobshite himself decided that he wouldn't actually do much in the way of actually producing Gray's report. I don't know if that was Boris Johnson's decision or whether he was... he just hasn't got it yet, but knowing Boris Johnson, it's probably that he hasn't. He's got it, but he just doesn't want to give it to anyone because it says that he broke the law, and he's got to show it to his lawyers and make sure that he can do everything in his power to ensure that he gets away with this shit. Which is that's all he cares about. That's all he cares about in the world. He's just getting away with this shit. And all of his little fucking familiars, all his acolytes, his hangers-on, they are so desperate for him to keep his job. People like Liz Truss, people like Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak probably wants his job, but Liz Truss, I mean, if she doesn't become leader, are they going to keep her? I mean, the woman is as thick as pig shit. I don't care if she's moved her vocal range down an octave. She's still thick as fucking pig shit. She's made the worst possible decisions for us in terms of trade. And now she's supposed to be standing up against Vladimir Putin. Oh my God. It reminds me of that Monty Python sketch where they have the boxer in the ring with a little girl in pigtails, and he just keeps punching her in the face, and she keeps falling down. She gets up again, he punches her in the face. That's the scale you're looking at. Putin versus Truss. And this isn't being. It might sound a bit sexist. I get that, but Gavin Williamson, oh my God, he's the same. He's the same, and he's male. He's just this wet fucking wimp of a man. But he knows where the bodies are buried. He knows where. Why doesn't Putin shut up and go away? That's Gavin Williamson. What a twat. What a gobshite. But then you've got Rees-Mogg. You've got that fucking Rob dickhead. You've got especially Nadine Dorries, who's been all over the fucking social media in the last couple of weeks, defending Boris Johnson to the hilt. Boris, let me have your babies. I just love you so much, Boris. Because she knows that she's so shit at everything that as soon as they have another leader, she's out. She's fucking out. That's the end of her political career. But all things being equal, it'll be the end of her career, full stop. This is the woman who said that she had to go at James O'Brien about being privately educated. Right, she oh, you're privately educated, elitist, blah, 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 blah. Her daughters went to the same school as James O'Brien. I mean, the rank hypocrisy there. I mean, it would be bad enough if her daughters were just in private school, but no, they went to the same cunting fucking school as James O'Brien. Oh my God. You know, when I go off on one about private schools, at least I can say, well, I didn't go to one. My kids, I don't have any kids, but if I did have kids, my stepkids and whatever, they don't go to private school. They go to the normal school. They go to a state school, like normal people, like the 93% of us whose parents aren't incredibly rich. Oh, that 1%. Okay, so I'm not a murderer. Some of my best friends are alive, indeed. Well, I got away with that. Now, who's for some good old-fashioned work event? My place, indeed. Blue Wall seat MP standing up, trying to raise their profile. I noticed before the seats go in the next election. Indeed. Greenspoon, am I late? Maybe a little bit, Greenspoon. It started at 12. If Gavin Williamson or Liz Truss becomes PM, I'll be doing backflips. A progressive alliance won't even be necessary. Yeah. Well, I don't think Gavin Williamson will. Rishi Sunak's definitely setting himself up to run for PM. So I'm hoping that this 4.3 billion given to fraudsters hangs over him like a fucking cloud. You know the way like Tories go on still about Gordon Brown selling our gold at the beginning of the millennium for like a lot less than it was worth 10 years later, because that effectively lost 20 billion that we could have had if we kept hold of it. However, you don't know what's going to happen with gold. Its price fluctuates, and that's why it makes it such a shit thing to put all your pennies into gold, because the value of it doesn't just keep going up like it does seemingly with housing in this country. Oh, that's 7%. Well, no, it's not, is it? It's at any one time, it's less than 1% who parents who are sending their kids to private school, because isn't that right? Because parents aren't everybody. So most people aren't. There might be grandparents, or they might be children themselves. Yeah, that's why I said the 1%. But I mean, globally, it's a 0.1%. Globally, it's a 0.0001%. Anyway, do you think Johnson is going to resign by the end of the week? No, Alex, I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. I want this to be the last Prime Minister's question time, but he's got his little lap dogs nodding away in the background like the fucking Churchill dog, you know, in the back of the car. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, everything you say is amazing. He's got no answer to the charges that have been levied against him. He's not even trying to deny them. He didn't try to deny them then in PMQs. He just said, well, yeah, obviously I did that, and I did lie, and I did mislead Parliament, but I don't give a fuck. And I'm sorry for all my swears, but as Tim Minchin once sang, this is language one employs when one is fucking angry with, this kind of shit. I didn't think so either. I don't think he'll go. I think Sue Gray's report will come out and he'll say, yes, well, it does say that we had numerous parties, 16 of them, maybe more, and there is evidence of them. There's photographs of me socialising with wine in my hand. You know, there might have been an orgy. There might be a work orgy. Who fucking knows this cunt? I mean, he's been to bunga parties in Italy. He might have brought a bit of that back to number 10 with him. I couldn't think of anything more vile than a Conservative orgy. It would be like the scene in Eyes Wide Shut, only all of the people in it are basically Mr. Burns. Yeah. Just what the fuck? He's going to cling on. And there's no constitution in this country. There's no written constitution. It's all convention. And he knows that. I mean, as much as I fucking hate the cunt, this isn't complicated. I think he's thick. I think he's really fucking stupid. But he's got the right people around him who basically whisper in his ear and tell him what to say. You know, just say this, just say that. He pretends to be all this vaudeville act of, he's just incompetent and everything. He's very fucking lazy. But I think he doesn't really understand things very much because he doesn't care. I think we all know someone who doesn't read the news. They're not interested in anything that's going on in the outside world. They're only interested in what they're interested in, whether it's, watching movies or, going out clubbing or whatever it is. Whatever it is that drives their life. And they have the sort of blinkers on. And some people do this because the news upsets them. And I fucking get this. My mental health has suffered incredibly over the last 5-6 years since the Brexit vote because all the things that I believed once about my country has now turned to shit. The main one being that things were getting better. Things were slowly, incrementally, with a few back steps. I appreciate that, but we were to some extent getting better. But now we're not. We're getting worse. We're regressing. We're losing our rights. Taxes are going up. The cost of living is going up. Wages are being driven down in real terms. The transportation infrastructure in this country is shot to shit. Our infrastructure is shot to shit. Our standing in the world has got shot to shit. No one respects us anymore. We're just this comedy little sideshow to everything else that's going on. And it's so damaging to the psyche of the nation and also the psyche of individuals. You want to feel part of something. You want to feel part of something that is making positive changes happen. And we're not at the moment. I'm just going to do a little plug for my show tomorrow in a bit with Kieran. But I was thinking, before I meet up with him, I'm thinking of going to the British Museum. And maybe, if you're very lucky, I've got a crap phone and my better phone got wet when I was on Ginger. So my phone battery only lasts like an hour, especially when I'm live streaming. So if I'm out all day, I know I've got a little plug-in power box, but it's, it doesn't touch the sides most of the time. But yeah, I'll try and do a bit of live streaming from the British Museum, pointing out some of the things that we've stolen from around the world, not least the Parthenon marbles, or the erroneously named Elgin marbles. That's the guy who stole them. The Rosetta Stone, which we stole from Egypt, and also the Benin bronzes, which we stole from Nigeria. The Nigerians quite rightly want them back, and they should get them back. The fact that the British Museum still, at this point in 2022, is refusing to give these priceless artefacts back, just replace them with a copy, all right? Get some master crafts, men and women, craftsfolk out, make copies, put them in your fucking museum as copies. Give the originals back to the people whose countries you fucking stole them from. It's the least you could do. And that's the British Museum's choice. It's not up to the government. It's not up to the Brexiteers. It's not up to Nigel Cunting Farage. It's up to the British Museum. And the fact that they won't do that just typifies the attitude, the arrogant attitude of this pathetic, weak, demoralised nation, this spineless nation of jellyfish and people who tip the hat, tug the forelocks, and just do what the posh cunt tells them to. And who's the worst of the lot of them for the posh people? It's Rees-Mogg. He is a pantomime villain. He's so camp. He's like a row of tents. I mean, I do have difficulty believing that he's heterosexual, and I don't want to say that in a way that makes it sound like being gay, there's something wrong with it, because obviously there's absolutely nothing wrong with being gay. It's a lot of fun. But like, he is an anti-abortion, staunch Catholic. He's got 17 children, whatever. Oh, but like, seriously? He's straight? I don't think so. I think out there somewhere is, forgive me, content warning, trigger warning. I reckon there is got to be a Rees-Mogg sex tape, and it won't be Rees-Mogg with a lady. That's what I'm saying. It might be Rees-Mogg on a train, in a train, choo-choo, if you know what I mean. But yeah, these people are in charge, but they're not in charge of the British Museum. The British Museum could do what it likes, and it won't. because this country has lost its way. It's absolutely lost its way. It doesn't know the difference between right and wrong anymore. They had a phone in this morning on LBC, on James O'Brien's show, in which he talked about, he asked people to call in about the worst thing Boris Johnson's done. And when I'm listening to the radio, I often have to actually tell my partner, Catherine, what's happening on the radio, because she can't hear it because she's deaf. And I told the people phoning in about this, and I said to her, I'm thinking of phoning in myself, but I feel like I've been on James O'Brien's show enough. I don't need to be on it every bloody week. But yeah, my point would be his worst crime, Boris Johnson. Forget about Darius Guppy's fucking horrific shit that he did with him. Forget for lying to all of his editors. Forget about lying about the EU for years when he worked in the Telegraph as the EU correspondent who made all the shit about bendy bananas and banning condoms and all the bullshit that he made up with, stuck in the head of people. Forget for a moment Brexit and all that shit. The worst, very worst thing that he did, and someone pointed this out when they did, I went, good, I'm glad someone pointed this out. He has damaged the social fabric of the nation. That's what he's done with his lies, because he's a virus. Virus Johnson. This is why I call him Virus Johnson, because he has spread like a mind worm throughout the nation. He has gaslit the entire fucking nation into not knowing the difference between right and wrong anymore. What's acceptable and what's not. What is honourable and what is dishonourable. People just don't have a fucking clue. Because it just comes so thick and fast. Every fucking day there's a new scandal, there's a new horrible thing that this horrible little twat has done. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow, when someone called up with that, I was pointing it out to Catherine and saying, that's what I would say. That is what I would have called him, because I think that's the worst thing that he's done. And that's what's destroyed this nation more than anything else. When Scotland leaves, which it will do in the next few years, when Brexit just does what Brexit is it's only capable of, because Brexit is a virus as well, and it's a parasite. Brexit is a parasite on the nation. All it exists for is to live off its host until its host dies. That's it. Brexit, the parasite of the nation. But yeah, that's my big bugbear with Boris Johnson, the way that this nation has just turned to shit under his watch. Oh, I better grab my passport, everyone. Okay, so got my passport. The reason why I've got my passport out is because tomorrow... Oh, just hang on a sec before I start going on like this. Ken, £5 for pub on Friday. Oh, thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much. So tomorrow... afternoon, hopefully, all being well, and this is by no means assured, okay, because there's 1,000 things that could go wrong, but hopefully I will be meeting up with Kieran Donovan, the van man, who featured in the very, very first episode of Three Blokes in the Pub, way back when, in the summer of 2018, when we actually thought that we had a good chance of defeating Brexit with, I don't know, reason, knowledge, experience, I don't know. And Kieran has been working in the logistics industry for decades now, and he really knows the lay of the land. He's the guy who took on Rees-Mogg on the radio and told him about how borders fucking work. Now, he knows about taking freight across borders. He knows about getting stuff into Norway and getting stuff into Switzerland, which are not part of the EU, and it makes things more difficult. Or he might know about getting stuff into Liechtenstein, but no one really lives in Liechtenstein, so who gives a shit? But the way that we know between us what it's like to have hassle crossing borders is world class. I mean, you're going to find two people who probably together know more about the process of crossing borders than me, the person who crossed over 201 borders on my mission to every country in the world without flying. So 201 different borders, at least. Some countries I visited more than once, and therefore I entered them in different places. So I came in one border, came out a different border. So actually, if you take the number of borders that I crossed in the process of the journey, you're looking at a number more around maybe 300 to 400 different border posts that I have got across. So when it comes to knowing shit about this stuff, or experiencing this, and what's normal and what's not normal. And the thing is that Kieran and I both know is that the EU's not normal. It's not normal for you to be able to take your goods, take your person across a border without any hassle. The hassle is always there, except in the EU. And unfortunately, for the last 30 years, people have just been able to go back and forth to France, to Spain, to Italy, and not think about it. And that's lulled them into a false sense of security. Because most countries, the vast majority of countries, are an absolute fucking ball ache to get into. Even when you're just a little guy with a backpack coming in going, I just want to come and have a look at your country, is that all right? Never mind if you're bringing in a fucking 18-wheeler with a big 40-foot container on the back with mixed goods inside. Everything needs to be looked at. Everything needs to be tested. Everyone needs to be, all the boxes need to be ticked. All the paperwork needs to be done. So what Kieran and I are doing tomorrow, we're meeting up in the afternoon, and we're going to drive down to Dover together. Hopefully we'll get there before dark, and hopefully we'll get some footage of the massive queues of lorries that are at Dover at the moment. And then we'll be heading over on the ferry to continental Europe, and we will, or mainland Europe, should we call it, and we'll be heading through Belgium into Luxembourg, and be picking up some stuff on the Friday and then heading back. So I'll be doing live stuff hopefully on the Friday, on the Thursday and on the Friday, going there and back. I don't know if Kieran wants to discuss things as we drive. He might want to just concentrate on driving. That's fine if he wants to do that, but I'll definitely be getting that footage of the lorries lined up along the way. So if you want to support this endeavour, because obviously, we've got to pay for hotels and shit. Although I am getting the megabus down tonight to London at 1 o'clock in the morning. Gets here at 8 in the morning. Hope I don't sit next to someone smelly. But a megabus ticket is £11. The train ticket, one way, is £150. Result! Actually, if you want to get to London for 8 o'clock in the morning, it's a lot more than that. Okay, so yes, get the car cigarette charger for streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I've got that sorted, but I'm saying when I'm out in the museum in the day, because I'm thinking I'll get into Victoria, crack of dawn, and then I woke up at the crack of dawn. I said, "Dawn, get off me face." I get into the crack of dawn, and I'll head over to the British Museum. I'll probably walk over to the British Museum. I like walking around London. It's unusual, and people stare at you. Why are you walking? Why don't you take the tube? Because it fucking costs a fortune. Mile for mile, it costs more than bloody Concorde. But at least it works, because it's all part of one integrated system. And you don't have the same privatisation problems that you have in other cities, like in Liverpool, where if you have a bus pass for Stagecoach, you can't use it on the Arriva bus. So if an Arriva bus comes, you have to stand there in the fucking rain waiting for the next bus to come. Wicked. Right, moving on. I've never been to British Museum. I'm unsure if it was to stop the youth from seeing the effects of British colonialism, or that the natural history science museums are more fun. Maybe. V&A is my favourite museum just for the building. It's a fantastic building, the V&A, isn't it? British Museum, London's biggest store of stolen goods. That is very true. I've got a couple of super chats coming in. Number 3 for the Megabus. Thank you. Thank you for paying for the Megabus. Number 3. You're a legend. Thanks, Richard. And Pineapple Boy there. Money for the tube. Thank you very much. I will put that onto my credit card, debit card, I guess, and use it to swipe through. I heard a story years ago that a guy got an Oyster card. A guy who liked to dress up as a wizard. He got an Oyster card. He cut out the chip from the Oyster card. He put it on the end of his magic wand, so that when he walked through the tunnel, the tube gates, he could just tap his magic wand onto the sensor, and the doors and the little gate would open, and he'll go. I love that. That's so cool. Anyway, getting off the subject here. So yeah, Kieran, Donovan and I should be meeting up tomorrow, I hope. If not, might be a bit of a wasted trip to London, but hopefully we'll sort this and head over to the continent. We're part of the continent, the mainland. Head over to the mainland, and this is going to be quite exciting for me. This is going to be the first time I've been to London in 2 years, unbelievably. The last time I was there was so I could stink bomb the party that Nigel Farage threw in Parliament Square. That was great. Me and a couple of friends of mine got some Strumming, which is this Swedish stinky fish. It's meant to be one of the stinkiest things in the world. It smells of a combination of shit, rotting fish, death, vomit, and pretty much everything that smells bad in life, just all mixed together, rotting feet. And essentially, we just went around emptying these cans out all over the crowd. Yeah, that was fun. I'll probably get thrown in jail for that if I try to do it again these days with these anti-protest rules. Anyway, I went down for that, and that was last time I was in London 2 years ago, because I haven't been back because COVID. COVID's been 2 years now. 2 years since COVID started. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, thank you very much, David Faulkner, for the $38 from Hong Kong. See the James O'Brien prog saying how seriously wonders how the West can lecture anyone after Johnson and Trump. Yeah, David, I addressed that yesterday, actually, the day before, because I did say, I think it would have been Monday on Hughes at 10. I pointed out that, fair enough, we, the West, did vote in Trump, but at the same token, we did vote him out again. And I feel like in 2016, the electorate in the UK was put into an impossible position. Corbyn at the time was absolutely toxic. You've got to understand that, like, even now, after all that's come out about Boris Johnson, none of which Corbyn could have got away with. Like, Corbyn couldn't have got away with any of this shit. But all of the stuff he's done, dancing on the grave of Prince Philip, right? Dancing on the coffin, actually, because the fucking coffin hadn't been put in the ground at that point. So dancing on the coffin of Prince Philip, right? And yet, according to the polls, Boris Johnson's approval rating is a magnificent -35. Corbyn's, when he decided to go for an unnecessary election, vote for an unnecessary election in the middle of winter in Britain, British winter. Yeah, let's have an unnecessary election. That's what the world needs right now. His popularity was -40. He was 5 points less popular than Boris Johnson is today. It's quite remarkable. Now, if Boris Johnson called for a general election tomorrow, you'll think he was mad as a box of frogs, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would. You would. You'd say, fucking hell, you dickhead. What are you doing having a... I mean, okay, we'll take it. But, like, seriously? You're 10 points down in the polls. You're the most unpopular Conservative leader in years. Well, since the last one. Oh, my God. Seriously? But, yeah. Seriously. Not even for a work event. Nick in Diff, you should listen to the podcast, Stuff the British Stole. It's excellent. Told my folks about it, and they defend the marbles being in the UK. I was truly shocked. That's unbelievable. Nick and Diff. I mean, like, what was the defence for it? Well, we took it. Okay. Right, so you took it. Yeah, we took it. So why should we keep it? Because we took it? Right. Great. Okay, so Nick, I'm going to look out for that podcast and try and listen to it on the way down to London tonight. Overnight coaches are great, aren't they? And I've got a big thank you to Kieran as well, because he's going to be paying for everything while we're on the road. Thank you so much, Kieran, if you're watching this. Yes, any contributions coming in while we are on the road, we will split 50-50. So if you want to give some super chats tomorrow, I'd really, really appreciate it. Also, if you tune in, let your friends know what's happening. I'd appreciate that as well. So I'm going to wrap it up there because it's been an hour. It's been a whole fucking hour. I feel like I haven't said anything. Boris Johnson remains in post. The Sue Gray report still isn't published, unless it was published while I was jabbering on there. Maybe if Boris Johnson does an impromptu fucking talk, announcement or whatever, I might go live. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, because it's the only way you're going to know that I've gone live, because I can't really give a time when that might happen. And also tomorrow I can't give you a time either. So please hit the bell notification icon. I'm not going to hassle you with 7 live shows a day. So hopefully that'll just... Oh, great. Okay, I know he's going to be on. Otherwise, I'm going to have to postpone tomorrow's edition of Hughes of the World, in which we were going to delve into the geopolitics and history of China. So one of the biggest countries in the world in terms of area and population and history, dating back thousands of years. most of which was recorded. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Chinese history, and I'm not going to be able to do it in a car. In a van with Kieran the van man going over the border. By the way, we're not taking any goods out the country because there's no point. It's too difficult. Like, we have absolutely snookered ourselves in terms of trade with stuff going out the country. All we're doing now is spending our British pounds and giving it to foreigners and having them having people bring that foreign muck into our country. So all this money's pouring out of the nation and fuck all's coming in. And that's the way Boris Johnson likes it, because he is on a mission to destroy this nation. But to discredit the nation, to lose a nation's honour, first of all, you have to lose your honour. You have to discredit yourself and fall for this shite. And thankfully, you and I, and many like us, we don't fall for this shite. So we need to stick together and make sure we keep getting the message out. Boris Johnson is a toxic arsehole and he's got to go sooner rather than later. So I'll see you tomorrow in one form or another, and I'll be here. I might be on Twitter as well. I might be on Facebook, depending on how we do the live stream, but I will definitely be on YouTube. So please tune in for that. It's always a good laugh, I feel. So I'm going to leave you with a list of my patrons. There's no Discord server this week. It's still up, so if you want to use it yourselves, feel free. But hopefully by Sunday, we should have our new Discord server up, which is only for patrons. It's only for patrons and YouTube members. So, yes, that's the plan. Godspeed, Graham, says Mark Watton. Thank you very much. Wait, if you go down in a van, are you working in the EU without a permit? I'm not working, mate. I'm not working. I'm just a passenger. I'm just a passenger. I'm a +1 story of my life. I think I'm going to call my autobiography +1. Because all these events that I've been to and all these gigs and all these things, I've always got as someone's +1. Anyway, thanks, Graham. Says Sam. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, in the morning in the British Museum. We'll do a little thing from there until they chuck me out. Sure they will. Were you live streaming stuff about our wonderful stolen artifacts? But yeah, presuming they don't throw me out, I will be definitely coming on. Well, I'll definitely be on that, but I'll definitely be on in the afternoon, hopefully with Kieran, as we head down to Luxembourg on a run through the gauntlet that is getting the Dover ferry over from Dover to Calais. So yeah, good luck with that. Thanks, everyone. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.